Okay, a little background here. We're going to talk today about the Army's duty roster, the DA Form 6. A few years back, I was contacted about trying to automate this, so I wanted to try and take a crack at doing it in Visual Basic. So here's what I came up with. So if you look on the spreadsheet, you'll see a couple of tabs down at the bottom. Here's a nice example tab where it will show how the DA Form 6 will calculate and look. Basically, for those of you that don't know what a duty roster is, it increments a number, increasing by one for every day. And then on any given day, the person with the highest number is assigned the duty for that day, as indicated with this slash. What we'll also see in this duty roster is that uh, we will have exception codes, A's, D's, and U's, and they're handled in different fashions. So you can see here that somebody assigned the duty, their number will continue to increment along with the U's. So if you hear the person had a number one on the 18th, so it would be two, three, and then it would pick up on the four. So while they cannot be assigned duty for those days, they don't get any credit for not doing the duty. While an A code will hold constant, so this person will stay at one until the A code is gone. So basically, to run this duty roster, there's a required information tab. This lets us list the nature of the duty or the different duties we're going to assign. We also have organization and location here. We can have soldiers per day and the length of the duty assigned. We can also operate this duty roster in two modes. There's the standard mode, which treats weekends and weekdays equivalent, same with holidays. I had a request early on to try and split that out into a mode that will let you calculate a weekend duty roster versus uh, a weekday duty. So just we'll look at that a little bit later. And the easiest mode is to don't skip the weekends and to handle both duty assignments together. In addition, we also have the sorting that's determined by rank. So what you would typically do is you would enter the soldiers that are available for duty in alphabetical order from lowest rank to highest. Uh, we can then, in this case, we have charge of quarters as being the duty assigned. We can put our date range. This is a 40-day duty roster. So if we have the previous duty numbers from last month, so whatever ended on December 31st, so say we have numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and maybe we have some new people that uh, weren't on the duty roster before that are going to be added. We can also then put in any exception code. So if we have someone who is uh, going to be not available for duty for a given number of days or already assigned duty, uh, we can exempt them using the following codes. I'll throw a couple in here uh, just so we can look at how the duty roster calculates. So here we're handling weekends and entered holidays is the same. And if we simply create the roster, it will prompt us for any number that it can't calculate on its own. So for these last three soldiers, we didn't supply them any numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and accept the default number of one. And what you can see, as soon as I hit the next one, it will go ahead and calculate in the duty roster numbers for everyone. So you can see here I had entered these. So Callahan, this fictitious soldier, had a 5, so he was assigned the duty the first day. For January 2nd, the people with 4 would become 5, and the numbers will increment. What you'll see here for the A code, the soldier Hooper had a 1, but since he was given the A code, he does not have his number increment, while people with D's and U's, so 4 becomes 5, 6, so this would be a 7, 7's the highest number, and so on. A couple of other features. If we put in a new date, so if we post this duty roster and we get close to February 1st, 2021, and we want to make a new duty roster, it will detect that we already have data for February 1st, and it'll ask us would we like to move those duty assignments, so we can say yes. And what it will do is it will advance over what was left in February 1st through 9th into this. Have no fear here. If we're going to just continue on our roster, we have our number. Again, we could put in some exception codes for people that are unavailable. Uh, Again, A's, D's, and U's. I'll refer you to the regulations on what should be used where. Uh, but now you'll notice here it automatically cleared out the number to be assigned. Another feature we have, so say for charge of quarters, we want 2 people assigned on Mondays. We can come in and edit that. You'll notice that the weekends are highlighted, same with holidays. So if I want 2 people assigned on Mondays, we can create the roster moving forward. And you'll notice here when we get to the first Monday that we're looking at, now we have the 2 highest numbers assigned. We also I have it set up so you can't assign duty back to back. It'll clarify that. So as the numbers get changed up, that's another way of looking at it. Other things that come up is if we have a new soldier uh, that is assigned mid-month, right? And say we have a new private assigned, we can add him. If we, now let me try and type a reasonable fake name. So if we have him, we can now add a soldier and recalculate the roster. So we've added our soldier. If we hit recalculate the roster, it will ask us what date that soldier is available. So let's say he's available February 22nd. So we'll go February 22nd, 21. When we hit OK, it will then clear out the duty roster assignments and then start here. You'll notice it also put the soldier in alphabetical order by rank. Again, that's just right out of the regulation on how you should do that. That's important for the lowest ranking person with the highest number is supposed to be assigned the duty. So again, now we can start our roster. You'll notice that this person doesn't have an assigned number, so we'll start him at number 1, and it will go ahead and finish him out here. And that's an easy way to look at it. Now, in addition, we can clear the roster of assignments. So if we have a need to assign duty to people and then run another roster, but exempt those people, here's the way to do it. We'll clear the roster, leaving only exceptions and duty codes. And then it's going to prompt us for what do we want to change the assigned duty on charge of quarters to. So we can change that to charge of quarters or some abbreviation. And then we can hit OK. And you'll notice here, anyone that was assigned charge of quarters has been indicated, but now they're also going to be exempt for any other duty. So if we wanted to then move to a different duty assignment, say KP, okay, it will prompt us, say, hey, you've changed the duty. Do you want to go ahead and sign 1 person for each day? That's just the default to save you from having to enter all this stuff. And again, we could now rerun this duty roster for KP and hit the button that again is going to prompt us for the numbers. So again, we can add whatever numbers are appropriate, but once it gets an initial number, it will take it from there. And now we can see that KP has been assigned and there's no conflict for charge of quarters. So basically that's kind of the way the duty roster works. Again, we can come over to our information page. We can also handle it to pre-screen and run a version that allows us to separate holidays and weekends from regular weeks. So let's look at that. So I've changed these 2 drop downs. I'm going to move back. I'm going to go ahead and clear the roster of assignments. And I want to delete all the duties assigned with this. So I'm just going to delete that. So that will basically clear out those. Now let's clean it up a little bit here. We'll get rid of all the charge of quarters too. So here, if we take, I'll just do this really quick, an example of how it works in the other mode. So I've got U's and some D's, and let's try and put something in here just to make it a little bit more interesting. So notice here now this says treat weekends and entered holidays with unique assignments. So let me pick a month that's got got a holiday in it. So let's go back to January 1st. I'm sorry, January 1st, 2021. You'll notice, uh, so we didn't have any overlap in the calendar, so it goes ahead and clears it off. But you can see January 1st now is highlighted out. So it will be treated as holidays and weekends. So again, let me put back in some exception codes. We'll try and get some on here. Okay, so now when we go to create the roster, if we change it back to charge of quarters, we're going to default assign 1 to each day. When I hit create the roster, you'll notice no numbers are in here, so it's going to prompt us for the initial duty number. So I'm going to just quickly make some, but you'll notice these are the duty roster numbers for a holiday and weekend schedule. As noted, it's all in gray. Um, so those numbers it'll calculate, but when we get to our first regular day, it's going to prompt us again because it's going to treat each day as a separate thing. So let me run through those. And now we can see if we look a little bit closer. So the highest person here was assigned duty and so on. And you'll notice the dates here, 5, 6, 7, 8, pickup is 9 here. 9 is the highest number, so they're assigned duty. This way, everybody gets the same number of weekend and holiday duty days as weekday duty days. So it's like if, happenstance is such that you're constantly the one getting called on the weekends or whatever, this duty roster will basically make sure everyone gets the same amount of weekday and weekend or holiday duty assignments. So, and again, it does the same thing. So you'll notice here an A picks up, doesn't advance, so 4 stays 4, and it only becomes 5 here, where 1, 2, and 3 goes here. So I hope that makes sense. Just a quick explanation. I hope you like it. But I just wanted to put out a little bit of an instruction sheet. There's also a README page here that goes into a little bit more of how it works and what, if anything, you need to know about. I suggest you check that out. And I always look back for feedback if you use it and it works well for you. I appreciate hearing. I also love finding out where the duty roster's traveled and what bases it's made it to. So feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Till then, thank you. Thanks for taking an interest. I hope this saves some time.